Hello, everyone. Good evening. Hi, Shreya. Hi, Dream Blush. I'm Shruti, and I am here to address any queries that you have and discuss with you the 1 year MBA in India. And we'll also be discussing about the 2 year MBA versus the 1 year MBA and which are the other programs that you can look into, which are the popular programs, and what is the value add. And in case you have any specific queries, please feel free to reach out right here, and have a I'll keep a watch on the comments so that I can address any queries for you right here itself. So it's so nice to have you here. Please tell me where you're joining us from. So let's get started in the meantime. And hi, Sogata, how are you? Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Joining from Germany. Thank you so much. So are you considering an MBA in India, or are you considering an MBA abroad? What is it that you are planning to do, Dream Blush? Shivani, hi. Mansi, hello. Swagata, Shivani joining us from Pune. Thank you so much. Jayata, Mumbai. Thank you. It's almost dinner time. Thank you guys for joining us. At such an odd hour. Priya is joining us from Gurgaon. Anubhav, Rampur. Vibhor, Delhi. So, as always, please keep on putting in your questions as we progress with the presentation. Whatever queries you have, you can keep on. I'll try to keep on addressing as many as I can. So, you are considering an MBA in India with 5 years of experience. That's extremely great. It's a good opportunity, and we can definitely see if I can help you out with anything that you want to get addressed here. Adeem Bahrain. Hi, how are you? Anubhav is in a government job in the revenue department. Okay, you'll be giving your GMAT on 15th of October. Want to switch by career. So definitely you can do that, Anubhav. Which course should I choose? 1 year or 2 year? Right. So we'll be getting into that discussion, Anubhav, just a little while from now, and we can have more introductions. Rajiv, do colleges in India accept GMAT for the 1 year MBA? Is it 1 year MBA that you want to communicate, Rajiv? Yes, they do. Most of the schools they do accept the GMAT or the GRE for the 1 year MBA programs. Dreamrush says, since there are few B schools in India which take the MBA admissions via the GMAT, is CAT a safer option? So I am assuming, Dreamblush, over here that you have around 5 years of experience. So if you are considering an MBA post 5 years of experience, and that too in India, it is a good idea to look at the GMAT rather than the CAT, because you'll have a slightly varied classroom experience and the MBA experience at both the kind of programs. So that's you. So you are the best judge to look into it, but we'll discuss it in slightly more detail from now. Anubhav, how many years of experience do you have exactly? So since 2016, are you working with this government organization? So almost 5 years of experience now. Right. So SAR says, I'm a businessman with 2 years of work ex, 1 year job, 1 year family business, prepping for the GMAT and planning to go to the US. A 1 year an MBA program of 2 years. See, let's get started over here. What we are going to discuss today is the 1 year versus the 2 year MBA. Where does it make more sense to take a 1 year MBA or a 2 year MBA, and which are the best 1 year MBA programs in India? That's what we are planning to discuss over here today. So the agenda briefly would be to again compare the two programs. Which one would be suitable at what kind of expectations? What should you expect from the MBA programs if you are looking at a 1 year MBA program? And why choose a 1 year MBA? Which are the programs which are available in India which you can what are the benefits, what are the risks, and what are the alternatives. And we have also accumulated, an admit survey result. So this is the result survey that we conducted with the admits to the 1 year programs in India itself. So we have compiled something over here, and then we'll definitely be discussing some MBA application tips. Kunal, hello. Thank you for joining you. I'm planning to enroll for T-shirt. I'm sorry, didn't understand that. Anubhav, you have 7 years of experience, right? Rohit says I'm already in MBA from a tier three, but planning to go to ISB with 4 years of experience. Could you please throw some light on it? Rohit, if you could put in some specific questions, it would be great. I could address them better. Right. So comparing a 1 year versus 2 year, which is a question that a lot of people over here have, is that a 1 year MBA is specifically available in a few geographical locations. That is India with a minimum work experience of 4 to 5 years. You can apply to around 5 to 10 schools according to your background. Europe mostly has 1 year MBA programs, and there the minimum work experience is 3 to 4 years. Although the average is very high in Europe, so the average work experience would be around 7 to 8 years probably, depending on the school. And for the US 1 year MBA programs, if you if you're considering the location as United States of America, then you need to have a minimum work experience of 10 years, more or less, for the 1 year MBA program. So this is what we have compiled on the the larger pool of programs which is available. On the other hand, if you're looking at a 2 year MBA program, you have options in India where, of course, you can enter without any work experience at all. Hello, Mansi. Thank you for joining us. Just give me a moment. I'm just coming to your questions. And in the US, you have a minimum work experience requirement, even in Canada, of around 2 to 3 years, depending on the school. The main difference between the 1 year and the 2 year is of course, the duration, but the availability of, and the opportunity of pursuing a summer internship is available in a 2 year program. So, if you are an engineering graduate and you want to pivot yourself towards a career in finance, for example, then a 2 year MBA program makes a lot of sense, because that is how you will be able to, through a summer internship or maybe one or two summer internships over the period, build up your profile and gain experience into pivoting yourself towards that career. Apart from that, if you're a mid-level professional or a senior management, you're looking, to shift to a senior management or general management career, then a 1 year MBA would equally facilitate that for you. Mansi says, I have 7 years of experience in IT and then 4 years of experience in teaching. Now I want to change my career. Does my profile stand a chance in Indian colleges? So, Mansi, we'll be coming to the profile part slightly later on. However, just to address your question, your profile consists of around 4 or 5 things, or maybe, just if you want to distribute it, it is two things. One is your work experience and the quality of work experience that you bring forward, and second is the academic and the GMAT that you're coming up with. So you need to compare and evaluate yourself on both of these grounds to be able to decide. More or less, yes, you are very much there. You can definitely apply to a 1 year program and pivot yourself for a career shift that you are planning to take up. Aryan, a lot of confusion regarding whether ISB will have a round three this year or not. If you could throw some light on it. Aryan, I cannot throw any light on it. So that is for the school to decide. And more or less, we can assume it will be there. It has been there over the last few years. But again, don't go by assumptions. Wait for the school to declare it, please. Sagar says, I have 8 years of work experience looking for MBA programs, 1 year MBA in India with placement and or abroad, please suggest. So, Sagar, it totally depends. When you are choosing your MBA program in India or abroad, so abroad is very, again, a broad category. Either it is US or Europe or Canada or Singapore. Where exactly do you see yourself fitting in? What are your long term goals? So try and choose a program according to where you want to see yourself in the long term. If you see that, yes, I'll be building, what does an MBA program actually give you? Apart from the skills, you are building a network there. You are building a relationship with people who are there in the industry, who will be graduating along with you, and those who are already alumni. So, the whole investment in the MBA is justified if you are building your skills and your network at the right place. So plan your career accordingly, and that is, I think, that will define whether you should go in for an Indian program or a program abroad. Shreya, which is better, ISB or IIMS? Shreya, this is an everlasting and a never-ending question. Nobody can decide that, but for yourself, you need to see what matters most to you, and then decide, where you see yourself fitting in the best. Priya, also which colleges and countries? I'm sorry, Priya, I missed your question. It's scrolled down. Yeah. I also which colleges and countries apart from India will be good for an MBA in HR? So, Priya, for an MBA in HR, you need to very specifically see most of the MBA programs are general management programs. So, if any program is, giving out specialization in HR, of course, that is one thing to consider. Second is the cost and the ROI that you are planning. Third is where do you want to settle down in the long term. That is the best place to pursue your MBA from. Sai Krishna, PGP X VLM. IIT Madras, IIT Kanpur have this. I can apply to the program from US. Appear from in US for selection. I think you can apply for the program. I'm assuming that you are planning to apply to an MBA program, a full-time MBA program in the US. Sai Krishna, you can of course apply to it. So all of these are good credentials that you're going in with, and put up a strong application. I think you can go ahead with that. In case there is a specific query, please do let me know. Opt for an Indian MBA, should I plan my travel related to the interview selection? Again, I did not understand this question. Please tell me more specifically. Are you planning to travel down to India for the interview, or so most of the 1 year programs they will conduct a virtual interview if you are staying abroad. So probably you don't come need to come to India for the interview itself. If there's a specific question, please readdress it. Sunil Kumar says 12 years of experience in the area of interest is supply chain operations. Which college is better? Again, Sunil, at 12 years of experience, are you looking at a location in India itself? Then you are actually more or less, at the upper end of the bandwidth that these schools will admit. So for supply chain and operations, go back to your previous work experience. Most of these schools are having, they have recruitments in the e-commerce and the supply chain and operations function as well. So probably most of these schools will be equivalent to you. You should apply to as many schools as you're eligible for. Dreamless says, as most of the candidates in the 2 year MBA and IIMs are with 2 year WorkX, is it true that IIMs do not prefer someone with 5 years for the 2 years program? It depends on you. So it is not for them to decide, it is for you to decide where you fit and then to communicate it well during the interview. So one is the CAT score. So you should get a call through the CAT score. So if you get an interview call and then cracking the interview is up to you, right? You need to communicate that value. Sunny Saurabh, 1 year executive MBA in India versus a 2 year MBA abroad. So, Sunny, the executive MBA in India, are you referring to the full time programs or the part time or the weekend MBA programs? If it is the full time programs, again choose your location as per your long term plans. Decide where or think about where do you want to see yourself in the long term. Are you going to build a career in India or abroad? Accordingly, you should pivot and switch right away. Puneet, Nifty Mumbai has a 1 year program. Is it worth doing? So, Puneet, every program is worth doing. It depends on what value are you seeking out of it. What is what is it that is your expectation from an MBA program? If you feel so, research well. If you feel that that program does suffice what you are looking at from the program, then definitely it will. The questions are scrolling up very quickly. So if I'm missing out on any questions, please repost them. I would suggest that. Chetan says, I have 13 years of experience looking for a profile change. Can I go for a 1 year MBA? So, Chetan, again, with the 13 years of experience, if you're looking at an MBA program in India, you are already on, the upper limit of the intake. So you can definitely go in for an MBA program in India. A 1 year MBA is the most suitable for you. So go ahead and apply right away. You should have a GMAT or a GRE score for sure. Aditya, 3 years of experience in project management. Can you please recommend some good colleges in India for executive MBA? So, Aditya, I'm assuming you're talking about the 1 year full time programs. So, at 3 years of experience, you would be eligible for two programs, more or less. One would be the IIM Udaipur program, and the second would be the IIM Kozhikode PGP Business Leadership Program. So these are two good schools which you will be eligible for. Otherwise, you need to wait for around 5 years of experience so that you are eligible for more schools. Tanish, BSc Electronics graduate right after grad, worked 2 years as a security officer, 5 star in a 5 star hotel. Digital marketing for the 6 months. Marketing college accept me. Tanish, I think you should go with the CAT route. So try and apply through the CAT and the other exams and take up a 2 year program because you need that time to pivot yourself properly to the next career change that you're looking at. What you have been doing so far doesn't relate very well to what you want to do post MBA. So that internship and that 2 year program experience will help you very well. Is IIM Shillong worth it? Again, every program is worth it. They are delivering very good curriculum. You need to be very sure of what is it that you expect out of the program, and talk to alumni, talk to people on LinkedIn who have been through this program, follow their journeys, their career trajectories, and see if that resonates with what you want to do. If if you're on the same track, then of course it is a good program. Manish says, Manish, I am sorry, your query is scrolled up. Could you please post it again? Rashkin Sinai, 5 years and 4 months of work experience in retail banking at IDBI. Started my GMAT 2 months back and resigned from this. Uh, Manish, what was you have 5 years of experience? So you are eligible for a lot of programs. I'll be just looking into these. So you are eligible definitely for the ISB PGP, IMA PGPX, IMB EPGP, IMC MBX, and there is another range that would be available here. Yeah. So that is the IM Kozhikode program, the XLRI program, SPGMIR program, the IM Udaipur program, and the IM Indore program. So you will be eligible for all of these. The moment you are done with the GMAT, I think that is a good time for you to start evaluating and start applying to these programs. What would be the ideal for me to upskill? So, Manish, where you are coming from, there is a lot of gap with what the corporate skills are, what the corporate world is looking at. So, maybe if you're looking at pivoting yourself to an operations role, you can look at building your skills in the operations management or general management. If that is so, then probably business analytics and understanding the business world. So one part is going to be done by the MBA program as well. So other things that you would require would be advanced technical skills in probably working on the Excel files and working on statistics. And another would be analytics program, any analytics skills where you understand, what the corporate world is looking for in terms of business analytics. These are skills that you can definitely build on. Ruskin, I 5 years, IDPI options for 1 year. So, Ruskin, I think I've addressed your questions. There are a lot of programs that you can look into. The moment you are done with your GMAT, you should start evaluating where you fit in and choose your programs. Abhishek, please look at my question. I've done BTech in mechanical, 14 plus in PSU. MNC, cleared UPSC and working with Government of India. So Abhishek, are you planning to work, so there are two things over here. One is that what is your goal post MBA? If you are planning to shift to a corporate career, and you are very much dependent on the MBA program or the MBA placement process to help you pivot that or steer that journey, then you can look at all of these programs that I'm going to discuss for going forward. And once you are the moment you are done with your GMAT, is the best, GMAT or the GRE is the best time to select your programs. 14 years plus experience is slightly on the higher end for any of the 1 year programs. So you will be a you'll be a part of a very selective pool in these programs. So you need to, connect with people on LinkedIn, understand that what is the career journey that you are planning forward, and is it, does it resonate with what you are planning for yourself? What they have sought, what they have achieved, and what you plan for yourself. Then I think going forward, you can definitely apply to these programs. The percentage of intake of people with work experience of more than 12 years is very low. So you need to position yourself very, very competitively. Before 1 year MBA in India versus a 1 year MBA from Europe with 4 years experience in banking. So 4 years experience in banking doesn't really position you very well for a 1 year MBA in Europe. I would slightly look at, now another 2 or 3 years of experience for 2 years probably for an MBA in Europe, and similarly for an MBA in India as well. So if you are looking at 4 years of experience in banking, you are eligible for a very few schools in India, but and even in Europe. With around 5 or 6 years of experience, you have a whole lot of range open to you. So probably you should wait for, if this is the 1 year program is the target for you, then you should wait for at least 1 or 1.5 more years to look at it. Somnath, from the financial aspect, is it worth pursuing an MBA from abroad than from India if making a career abroad is not a high priority but a medium priority? If that is the case, then of course it makes sense pursuing it from India. You have the dollar conversion and you have the euro conversion. How to calculate that and what the program cost will be like. So if we just look at the program costs, the ISB PGP is around 42 lakhs and the IMA PGPX is around 31 lakhs. Similarly, 30 lakhs for most of the other programs. So the range would be around 25 to 42 lakhs if you're looking at a 1 year MBA in India, which would at least be twice or thrice if you're looking at a program abroad. So you can calculate the ROI based on that. Shamrat, I'm 26 years old with 5 years of work ex, 2 years in family business, and 3 in government services. Shamrat, it depends on where you want to and how you want to pivot yourself. Ideally, 1 year MBA program has the benefits that it allows you to get back to the workplace very soon. Second, you will be able to gain the skills that you need to pivot yourself. So, a 1 year MBA program will do the needful. If you really feel that there are some skills that, and you need, you are looking at a sector where you need that in summer internship, then a 2 year MBA would make more sense. Otherwise, a 1 year MBA should be good enough for you to be able to, switch to another role, which I am assuming in this case could be general management very well, or operations. So if you're looking at general management operations, the 1 year program is very well equipped to give you that transition. Again, you have to be agile. You have to be able to communicate that agility in your profile to your recruiters as well as the MBA adcom. If that is the case, then I think 1 year program should be good enough. Anish, I have 12 years and interested in IMA PGPX. You are eligible, of course, Anish. Again, the 12 years work ex range, if I'm looking at, so this is the class profile. If you look at more than 9 years of work experience, it is around 18% of the class at IMA PGPX. So then you are actually targeting a very limited pool, Anish. So there you have to be able to, prove your metal out there and be able to, circumvent the whole competition. It is competitive, but definitely doable. Harsh says, I have 2 years of experience as an e-commerce specialist. What course would be suitable for me? Depends on what you are planning to do, Harsh. But at 2 years of experience, I think if you're looking at an MBA in India, the CAT based admissions are the best, right? So the CAT based admissions are the best because you will have the work experience, or maybe you can also look at the IMA PGPX if you're planning to write the GMAT or the GRE. Sorry, the IMA PGPX, nahi, the ISB PGP. So these two programs, so one is the CAT-based programs, that is one pool of programs. Second is the ISB PGP. So these are the two programs where you will be eligible. Now, what will be more suitable for you is specifically dependent on your analysis of what you want to, achieve going forward, and what do you score on those tests as well. So I think you need to prepare for the test and write the test so that you can get to that decision. Dhaval, I have 5 years of experience before graduation, 3 years during work, integrated BTech, and 2 years. So, Dhaval, your work experience for any MBA program would be the full time work experience that you have, that you have post completing any degree, undergraduate degree. So the during your work integrated BTech is something that needs to be looked into very deeply. So I need to be very sure that my total work experience is the time that I have spent in the workplace post completing my undergraduate studies, the full time undergraduate studies. So I'm not very sure how I can calculate that from what you have told me here, but do that on your own. I think you'll be able to see where you are eligible. So for the ISB PGP, you need 24 months of experience. I do see that you are certainly eligible for that, but again, this information is slightly hazy. So does 1 year MBA provide placements? Priya, it totally depends on the school and the format that they are delivering the program in. So if the format is a full-time program, so every school has a different offering. You need to be able to identify according to your GMAT or your GRE score which schools are you targeting, and then look at what they are offering through the 1 year program. This is not a standard offering. The standard offering abroad is the 2 year program, which abroad means US or Canada, is the 2 year program, which definitely comes with placements. Is Mica marketing good for 2 year PGDM? Again, Tanish, you need to see what you are looking at from the program, and if you feel that yes, that goal is going to be fulfilled and you are going to get a long term value from the program, definitely go ahead with it. I have seen reviews in Quora that executive MBA graduates from IIM are discriminated in the job market. How true is this? Swagata, I cannot really comment on anything that you've seen on any forum. You could probably get in touch with those people who have actually given those reviews, and they'll be able to address that. So far, I don't see. If you have a JD, the JD specifically says who's eligible, and if you're eligible, you are. If you're not, you're not. So it's totally very specific to the job role that is offered. Ankit Jain, I'm surprised about IIM Lucknow's IPMX not being listed here. Don't be surprised, Ankit. I think we have covered it somewhere. IIM Lucknow's IPMX. Acha, we have not covered it. Yeah. So again, it's a similar program, so more or less we've not listed it. But yes, see what we are covering here is more or less the programs which are again, if you look at the ISP PGP, the IMA PGPX, EPGP, MBX, these are all programs which are which go on to your FT rankings or and all. Otherwise, you have a whole list of programs to look at from. We have not listed a lot of more programs like your Great Lakes. So we cannot cover all the programs in one presentation. 1 year INSEAD, the best 1 year MBA program. I'm sorry, I didn't understand that. What documentation are needed to prove family business work experience? Can this be a problem? To prove with tangible results and proofs. So, family business, you have every program specifies what you need to, submit with respect to your work experience. So, there is no problem as such. It is totally dependent on you. If you've done good work, you should be able to communicate it, and you should have the relevant documentation as well, right? So, a family business, if it is registered, you will have your chartered accountants, you will have the relevant bodies who will vouch for it, and you can submit those documents. I don't think it is a problem. Ashwin, I have 16 years of experience. I'm interested in the full-time MBA. Do good B schools consider 38-year-olds? So, Ashwin, every B school has a range of programs. You need to see which program do you fit in, and if you do fit in, then definitely you will be considered. So, for example, I'm currently pursuing the Stanford Lead program, and I'm 44 years old, and I have people in my group and the class who are of the similar work experience and similar age group as yours. So I don't see there's any problem. A full-time MBA program, for the full-time MBA programs, you need to discuss with the school very specifically, share your resume and check out, what do you want, what is the program delivering, and do you really fit into the class. At 16 years of experience, does a full-time MBA program does really, make sense, and what are you planning to gain out of it is a question. Chetan, I have 4 years of experience in software development. Would like to shift to consulting. Will 1 year program be of any help in Europe? In Europe, be wise based on your experience. 4+ years in software development. Would like to shift to consulting. See again, Chetan, you have options across the world. At 4+ years, you are not really, out of range for any country as such, or any continent also. So you can look at these programs. Will the 1 year program in Europe be wise? Share your resume with the specific program that you're targeting, check out the placement reports, and see whether you will get the results that you are, looking for. If yes, then definitely people do go in for these 1 year programs and they do get the results that you're seeking. Set your expectations right. I don't think there's a problem. Suraj, 690 GMAT, 3 years of experience as an ESG consultant. Recommend a suitable program. Suraj, are you planning to take up a program in India or abroad? At 3 years of experience, you have limited options in India, and you do have quite a few options abroad. So you need to set that compass somewhere. If you could let me know, I can address that. Is ISB Hyderabad good for going for placement in pharmaceutical company? Other schools for pharma? See, if an industry is there in a certain region, that means if an industry is prevalent in India, then you will see it coming to most of the programs within India. So, as such, considering another school for pharma itself is not the question here. Probably the question here is that where are you coming from? What is your background? So, are you coming from a pharma background? Are you coming from another background? And where do you want to pivot yourself? That is the question that you need to address over here, and then choose the schools. Are CAT takers given more preference for the 2 year PGTM in India compared to GMAT? See, there are some schools, Tanish, which are only some programs which are only going to accept the CAT, especially in India. So they do not accept the GMAT. There are very limited schools which are accepting the GMAT and the CAT both. The CAT score both, and that too within India. I think Bitsom Mumbai is one program which accepts both your CAT, GMAT, and GRE. Otherwise, they are very limited programs. So the CAT takers will be given more preference. It's not that, it's what the school is accepting, or they are giving as their eligible test. So check out on the eligible test with respect to the specific school. None of ABC or I or L take the online GMAT. Now they don't, Rohan. So they are looking at the offline GMAT, and they have given their deadlines as to when. So every school has given their own set of rules as to what kind of online GMAT scores they take up. So for example, C has given a date where before that they can look at the online GMAT. Otherwise, most of them are looking at the offline GMAT. So go ahead with the offline GMAT itself. With 5 years work ex, with the number of colleges accepting CAT, versus number of college experience GMAT, which will be a safer option to pet. At 5 years work ex, given I don't know your expectations as such, but if you are trying to write the CAT, then you understand that in these courses you are probably in the in the highest experience bandwidth in the class. So most of the people in the class will be younger to you. So that is about the learning experience that you want from the MBA program. Again, learning experience is just one criteria. There are many more other things which are important as to how you want to pivot yourself, what is important for you to be able to achieve that pivot. So if you think a 2-year program will be much more beneficial for you, go ahead with that. Otherwise, just if the 5 years experience is the criteria, then you are on the higher, so you are in the very lesser number of people in the class for a 2-year MBA program, and the average or the majority in a 1-year MBA program in India. So you need to choose according to how you want to learn. Can you explain why I am a PGPX? I cannot explain that, Rohan. That is for the school to explain. I'm sorry. They have just changed their criteria this year. Till the last year, it was slightly different. Which MBA programs will be more influential in the area of sustainability, India or abroad? Sustainability is coming up in India, Suraj. It's not yet there. However, if you're looking at growing your career within India itself, it makes sense, So, sustainability is not it's in itself a subject that an MBA program will cover. There will be courses, there will be electives every program. So ISB has professors who are researching and working with the industry in sustainability. I am Bangalore, I'm Ahmedabad, I'm Calcutta. All of them professors, they have their research areas and focus areas in sustainability. So which MBA program will be more influential, I cannot say for that for sure. Where this industry is more advanced is definitely right now it is Europe, and it is coming up in India. So you can look at what kind of maturity you expect in terms of grooming yourself, because apart from MBA programs there are very specific masters programs in sustainability as well. So what is the career growth that you are planning? So based on that you can plan which MBA program will be best for you. It is coming up in India. There's a lot of work which is happening now, and it is going to increase in the future. So even India is a good place to take it up. It is slightly more matured in Europe, so you can definitely look at the European schools as well. So, how important are extracurricular activities and certification training with a GMAT score in the range of 650 to 700 for a 1-year MBA program? See, extracurricular activities and certifications are a separate thing, and your GMAT score is a separate thing. So, Debashish, if I go to the MBA application preparation part of our discussion today, we see that these are all the things which are important. So, your academic profile consists of your past academics and your GMAT and GRE. However, your application itself needs your MBA essays, your letters of reference, interview, and work experience. So MBA essays is where you will probably touch upon your extracurriculars and interests. As far as whether the extracurricular will weigh against your 650 or 700 GMAT as a criteria, I'm not very sure that you're looking at it in the right way. So these are two separate entities. Your GMAT is a separate entity, and what you're doing in extracurriculars or your certifications is a part. Certification is a part of your professional growth. Extracurricular activities is a part of your, the passions that you have, or maybe things that you want to explore apart from work. So these are all three separate sectors of evaluation. I've got 5 years of experience working at Amazon, planning to pursue a 1-year MBA in India, which is the best B school, and the best GMAT coaching. GMAT coaching I cannot comment upon, and maybe somebody else in the group can comment upon that if they have an experience. And which is the best B school? Again, this is something that is for you to decide. You need to research, do your research, talk to people on LinkedIn, talk to the schools, see what their placements are like, where do you fit in, and is that, does that really fit into what you are aspiring from your 1 year MBA? If that is the case, then definitely you'll be able to square down a few schools. As far as working at Amazon, I am not too sure of what your profile is. Are you into the software point of it, or the operations part of it, or the strategy part of it? Not very sure. Can I switch my career via 1 year MBA? So in India, people do switch their careers via 1 year MBA. Where are they switching now? Is So if you look at the placements for the four main sectors, so we have taken up ISB, IMA PGPX, the IMB EPGP, and the IMC MBX. If you are looking at the placements over here, then you can look at the four main sectors where people are getting, the placements, and definitely the schools are categorized as well. Now, coming to another part of the discussion is that what have been the admits, been through, the previous admits been through. So the admits, we asked the admits of top 1 year MBA programs, which industry do you plan to go to post MBA, or where did they reach post MBA? They were able to, shift. So the main industries that have that people have been able to shift to post the 1 year MBA program is consulting, or the IT, or the IT services, the banking, BFSI, and the retail e-commerce. So this is on the industry point of view, and above to answer your question. And if we look at the functional, the functional transitions, you can see that people have been able to secure transitions to consulting, to product management, to strategy, and to general management, apart from others, right? So these are the largest places where people have been able to shift to. So if this is one of the places where you want to shift your career to, then the 1 year MBA does seem a suitable option. Switch my career since I have 8 years experience in pharmaceutical sales and consulting or tech MBA. So definitely you can switch your career through a 1 year MBA. When you are planning to switch your career, you should also look into one thing, that is what is your preparation, with respect to switching, navigating that switch. How have you prepared apart from the MBA program to be able to communicate that navigation or your preparation to switch to that specific sector? So you can definitely switch to consulting. Just going by these numbers, people have switched to consulting, but they have prepared for a lot more things. If you have been into sales, then you can probably look at more things, how you can upskill yourself for a consulting or a tech MBA. So just joining a program would probably not help you over there. You need to look at more upskilling avenues as well prior to getting into the program. Which program in India would you recommend for entrepreneurship for someone with 8 years of work experience, 720 GMAT? So, Rohan, with 8 years of work experience, entrepreneurship, most of the programs in India, most of the top schools in India, they value entrepreneurship. They will help you, in any way with your, the kind of incubators that they are presenting, with the kind of avenues that you will have to connect with the VCs, and to build your business plans, the kind of network that you can build over there. Again, it depends on what kind of a business plan you have, but most of the schools in India or across the world, they value entrepreneurship very highly, and you will be able to achieve your goals if you are really focused on, what you are looking for. As such, it should not be a problem. You at 720 GMAT, you can look at. I am not too sure what industry you are coming from, but still you can look at the ISB PGP, the IMA PGPX, the IM Bangalore program, as well as the IM Calcutta program. All the programs will be good enough for you to help. Tech entrepreneurship, Rohan, you have all the schools open to, helping you to achieve your goals. I don't think there's any limitation as such. You should be very convinced of your story, put up a good plan ahead, and go for it. Sai Shilpa, please look into my questions. Sai Shilpa, could you please repost your question here. I think I have missed it out somewhere. If you could repost it, it will be very convenient for me. If there's any other question that I've not been able to address, please do repost it here. Meanwhile, we'll just continue with the discussion that we had started off with. So, what is the difference in the programs? The difference in most of the programs is, the batch size, the average work experience of the cohort, and the average age of the cohort, and the placements, the kind of, placements that every school will give you access to. So we look at the past placements for four main sectors. The main sectors being consulting, BFSI, IT, and e-commerce. Across the schools, we have just compiled the most recent data that is available, 2022 for all, but I could only get the data for 2020, which was declared by the school. A few leading programs here. Again, these are a few leading programs. This is not the comprehensive list. There are many more other programs which are available. So we are just trying to cover as many as possible over here. The IMA PGPX, the ISB PGP, there is an average GMAT. So you can very well understand what are the costs you are looking at, the kind of placements, the kind of, the CTC which is offered in the placement on an average, and the average GMAT or the average GRE score which is getting admitted to the class. And it is different for every school. Again, it is also very much dependent on, the batch size. So if you look at ISB, they're taking close to 900 people or anywhere from 800 to 900 people. IMA PGPX takes up around 140 people. IMB PGP 75, and IM Calcutta has recently taken up around 78 people in the cohort. So the cohort size is very different as per the school, and where you fit in, and the competition that you will face will be very categorically different according to, the cohort size as well. So the averages that you see here are definitely subject to the size of the class. So some more programs which are coming up is the IIM Lucknow, the IIM Indore, the IIM Udaipur, and IIM Kozhikode has a program. XLRI has a very good program. SPJMIR has a program which is also suitable for professionals looking at a career change from a one-year MBA program. Satish is, I was wanting to know if there's any program in line with the fellowship program at MIT and Stanford. 16 years of work ex with GMAT of 740. So at 16 years of work experience, and if you're looking at the fellowship program at MIT and Stanford, then probably, you need to look at the same league of programs. Over here, if I look at India, you can choose from, the one-year MBA programs which we have just discussed, or you can choose from the executive MBA programs. So it depends on where you are in your organization. If you're looking at a full-time program, then the one-year programs that we just discussed, a moment back, these are the main options which are available within India. Otherwise, the programs that you are referring to, the MIT and the Stanford fellowship program, are the programs that you could go ahead with. Otherwise, we have people with 16 years of work ex going to the one-year programs in India as well. So you need to choose accordingly. So what are the risks of pursuing a one-year MBA option in India? So pursue the one-year MBA option in India if you're looking at the Indian market niche, if you're looking at a long-term career in India itself. International opportunities for the initial placements are very limited over here in these programs, and it does take time to pivot to a global career. It is not that you will not be able to pivot to a global career, but you would be spending 2 or 3 years post MBA to be able to pivot yourself towards that. The best alternatives, if you are really looking at a global career itself, would be either the 2-year MBA abroad or the 1-year MBA programs abroad. So according to your career goals, you can also choose the weekend or the part-time MBA. So if you're planning to grow within the same organization, or pivot yourself to a senior leadership role within the same organization, then you really don't need to get into the full-time MBA grind. You can actually look at a weekend or a part-time MBA within India itself, where you will get the recognition, get the brand, and be able to switch to a different career trajectory altogether. So these are the risks and the alternatives that are involved. Anukriti, I'm 10 years experienced candidate in the IT industry looking to switch industry and move to product or program management roles. In the IT industry, Anukriti, could you be more specific as to were you into project management or software architect? What exactly is the position that you're currently at? More or less, however, product or program management roles is a large part of what all of these programs have to offer. So get done with your GMAT and apply. ITES is a huge spectrum within the 1 year programs in India. Most of the 1 year programs, A, B, C, ISB, your Lucknow, Indore, Kozhikode, all of these programs will give you avenues to expand to these roles. Satish, I am wanted to know if there's any program. Acha, this I've addressed. Planning to give my GMAT in October, but I will miss the second round deadlines for the IMABC. Apply in the third round. Will it affect? So, Satish, Shamrat, it does affect your admission chance in the, on the aspect that, yes, there will be lesser number of seats available. So, of course, with every round, they are giving out admits and waitlists, right? So, with every round, the number of seats which is available which is left out for the third round will, of course, be limited. And if you look at the cohort size, if you're looking at ABC, A takes up 140 people, B takes up 75 people, C takes up 78 people. So, by the third round, you will actually be looking at, anywhere from 15 to 25 seats, maybe, or 35 seats. This is just an assumption that I'm giving you out. So, based on that number of seats being available and you competing for those, will definitely be a limitation. Apart from that, I have seen admits. So, we have had admits at in all the rounds with different types of GMATs with different type of backgrounds. So, it should not be a limitation as such. If you are not going to get done with your GMAT till October, you can hardly do anything about it. So go ahead and apply in R3. In India, there's one thing that you're not very categorically discredited by when you become a reapplicant. So that becomes a plus for you. So you can always reapply, looking at how things go in the R3. But be sure that the number of seats will definitely be limited. Anukriti, technology consultant. So I think I've addressed the question. You can look at each of these programs to be able to pivot your career towards product or program management. Again, depends on your preparation for the role and how much you are in sync with it. If you understand the role well, you have positioned yourself well. None of these programs, is inequipped to help you out. All of these programs will be able to get you that shift. So, we asked some admits to the top 1 year programs in India, some questions about their experience and the things that they found important in their decision making. So we asked them about, what are the important factors that were important for them to decide the program that they wanted to go to. So what they chose as the most important for them was the past placements in a specific sector and the kind of salaries which were offered in the on campus placement cycle for the programs. That was the first priority that I checked up. Surprisingly, the rankings like the FT and the Economist had a second priority, and that was alongside the location of the school. So this is the bandwidth of how people are actually deciding which program they want to choose, where they want to go to. Sai Shilpa says 700 GMAT, 14 years experience, finance professional with international experience with MNC, leading teams, MBA for growth in current company. So I'm assuming you are in an Indian company. You can definitely apply to the 1 year programs in India, and if you're looking at the future career growth in India itself. Otherwise, at 14 years of experience, Europe is a good destination for you. You can look at the INSEAD or other European programs as well, the 1 year programs. The third option could be the 1 year MBA programs in the US. So depending on the location where you finally see your career growing, I think you should put up your applications accordingly, Sai Shilpa Tiwari. So we also asked the admits about which industry they plan to go to post MBA. So when people are applying to the 1 year MBA programs in India, they are looking at pivoting themselves to consulting largely. The second best option, the second the best selection that they have is the IT or the IT products category, and then followed by the banking, BFSI, and the retail and e-commerce. More or less, they are equivalent in terms of the preference for the admits. Can I apply for the IMA PGPX? Yes, Shilpa, you are eligible to apply to the IMA PGPX. Please go ahead and apply. Arif Mohammed, executive programs of IM have placement cell, or we have to look on our own. So, Afif Mohammed, sorry. So, Afif, executive MBA programs, the full-time programs will assist you with the placements. So, they have their placement cells along with the student bodies who are working. So, every program has a different format of how the placements work, but definitely you will get support on that. Uh, oh, your name is very difficult to spell or pronounce. Sorry. I have a work experience of 1 year and I am yet to give the GMAT. Planning to give it in the mid January, get an admission in a good college in India. So, at 1 year of experience with the GMAT, you have. So, what is the question for me? I'm sorry. Prashil, you need to tell me what you want to ask with this context. So another question that we asked the admits was about which function they plan to go to post MBA. So the most coveted functions are of course consulting, followed by product management, strategy, and general management. So if these are some of the goals that you have in mind, then the 1 year programs are suitable for you to achieve your goals. So considering the MBA application strategy now. So GMAT or GRE, writing the GMAT or GRE is around 30% of the work done. Then you have your MBA essays, your application to submit, another 70%, so another 40% done. So you are all in all done when you are, finally done with the interview as well. So once again, coming back to our survey, the admits whom we asked what was the most productive mode of their studying for the GMAT, most of them responded that self-study was their most, you know, productive mode. Then they did have access. They did take up some online courses, offline courses. So this is just based on the survey that we had conducted with these admits. So finally, we asked them about, what was the most critical factor that they felt was decisive for their selection to the school that they got into. So the schools that they got into, their point of view is that the GMAT or the GRE is, around 36%, and then you have the MBA essays, which is around 30%, and then the interview, which is around 33%. So the point that we want to bring across over here is that when you are drafting your or you're planning your MBA application cycle, you need to really understand that each part of the process is equally important. So these are admits who are responding to the questions. They have already gotten into the programs, and this is what they feel, what was important for them to get into. So you need to get into their MBA, the programs that they got into, and you need to understand that each of these aspects is equally important. So spare time, spread your timeline across each of these preparations. Prime tutorials, GMAT 670. Prime tutorials, I don't have a context to the GMAT that you have shared. Please let me know. I can address the question. Proceed. 670, work experience 13 years, entrepreneur. GPA average, looking for 2 years MBA from USA. Oh, at 13 years of work experience, you will be actually in the, uh, the top bar of the intake. So it is, and your GMAT is not very competitive as well. So plus your GPA is also average. So you need to, communicate with the schools very specifically with your resume and your GMAT and your GPA, so that they should, get back to you with whether they are looking at your profile positively or not. So if it is an MBA from USA that you're looking at, this with this years of work experience, you are actually in the outliers range. Please communicate with the alumni. Please communicate with the schools directly. Share your resume and all this information, the specifics on the GMAT and the WorkX and the GPA with them, so that you can hear from them according, with respect to what they look for in their applicants and whether you fit into that or not. I think that is the best way to go ahead with that prime tutorials. So coming to almost the last section of our discussion here, that is the MBA application tips. So what matters when you are applying to the 1 year MBA programs, be it the ISB or the IM, any of these programs? What matters here is your academic profile. So your academic profile consists of your past academics, whatever is the GPA, the undergrad scores that you have, and your GMAT or the GRE score. So that is one independent unit of your evaluation. The next is your work experience. So in your academic profile and your work experience, again you would have a range of achievements. So this range of achievements should be communicated through the application very well. So try and interlink your application in such a way that you are able to, put forward your academic achievements as well as your work achievements throughout consistently. So the work experience, the years of work experience and the quality of work experience becomes equally important. The next important parts are your MBA essays. Of course, that there you can assume that one of the essays at least would be, with respect to your goals. Then the leadership experience, the teamwork and the extracurricular interest that you have, how you have, demonstrated leadership at work, in your teams or in your extracurricular activities. That is for you to, decide, first build a repository and then decide as to what you want to communicate through the essays. So the MBA essays will be, at least have two components. One would be your goals and another would be your leadership experience. That is one important part of your application. Then letters of reference are an extremely important part of your application. Choose your recommenders well. Be sure that you are communicating with them well in time, so that you are they have time to give you inputs, and you have also discussed with them about what you are planning to do, your essays. You are able to share your the updated resume if the recommenders is from a previous workplace. So update them about all the happenings, and that is an important component, that you must give ample time, as much time as you're giving to your GMAT or GRE, along with your MBSs. The fifth most important part is your interview. So for the interview preparation, you must set aside your time. You must look at your resume very well, things that you have communicated to the adcom, and have a very well thought out discussion that you can put forward with respect to the interview preparation. So these are things that you need for your MBA application strategy. How it manifests in your application, how you are able to bring it out impressively, is is something for you to plan Give it ample time. Don't just keep on working on your GMAT and GRE. Don't just keep on just rewriting the GMAT and not focus on the other parts. Focus on everything equally. That is the best way to go ahead and put up a strong application. So, for any other queries that you have, feel free to reach out to us, and we'll be happy to connect with you and sort out any or address any queries that you have. So, do get in touch. If you have any other questions that I can address, feel free to connect.